The jungle's back, got the natty pack in the orange and black.
Welcome, everybody, to the Cincinnati Bengals Weekly Show on the Gruely True Sports Network. We are brought to you by nobody, but we do need a sponsor, so if anybody out there wants to jump on board, we'd love to have you. Just hit us up at thegruelingtruth.net. I am your host for the Bengals Weekly Show, Mike Goodpaster, and right now I want to welcome in my co-host, former Cincinnati Bengal linebacker, Joe Kelly. How you doing, Joe?
Mike, I don't think you could have played any worse. It was, to me, it was just totally devastating, man. Just the fact that you would go out there on the Sunday night. It's one thing, Mike, when you go out and get beat because the other team is better than you. But when you go down, in my opinion, you lay down. When I see the fight, there was no fight at all. I seen guys quit. It was a total abysmal effort from the coaching staff to the players' efforts to the game plans, especially defensive. I have no idea what Coach Austin. I don't know what his intent was or what he was thinking. But every defense that I've seen them in, every call that they made, I could not understand it. I was there. At some point in time, I did concede that we were going to lose, but then I was going to say, okay, here, let's compete, and see, you go out there and from a man to man, you go out there and you at least compete. If nothing else, you compete because you're a man and you're a professional. And I totally did not see that. I think the Bengals, the players, the coaches, all of them totally quit Sunday night.
I don't think there's any doubt they quit. I think this. I mean, you got to have the will to prepare. This team was not prepared. And when you talk about the defense, from the cover 2 Tampa where Vontaze Burfict's dropping 20 yards into coverage to playing man under on 3rd and 4 against a quarterback that can run, they were completely unprepared. This was a joke. On defense, there were 18 missed tackles.
Oh yeah,
18, Joe.
You look at that, but Mike, they were beat by position. They were beat at the snap of the ball. Even if they made the tackle, they were already beat. Like I said, you played at the Tampa 2. Defense, you got Burfict dropping 25 yards. Mike, it's 3rd and 4. You got the safeties coming up to cover the slot receivers. The safeties are by alignment. They're 25 yards deep. So you're conceding a first down. I seen the defensive fronts. In my opinion, you basically said, here, my guys are going to beat those guys one-on-one. If they don't, we're basically going to lose. Because at some point in time, you figure as a coach that this is not working. So in your defensive repertoire, I believe there should be some kind of stunts, some movements, something, to every day in every game, Gino is not going to, get 8 hurries. So sometimes you need some movement. Sometimes you need some help. But he actually changed nothing. He did nothing. There was no in his calls. He basically, whatever the game plan was, still just like in the Pittsburgh Steelers game, Mike, I'm looking at those guys. Every call was coming in late. When they got the calls, Mike, the quarterback is calling out his cadence. These guys, the linebackers they're turning around and talking to the safeties. The safeties are turning around and talking to the corners. I literally seen Kirkpatrick one time just totally run away from as a wideout by himself. He's running trying to get whatever coverage it is, and they run their routes. And Kirkpatrick, who based on that defense, he looked like he had deep third. The guy ran a slant. He runs the slant with them. There's a guy right behind him, wide open. And it was missed. Mike, they scored 45 points. Mike, they could have easily scored 60.
Yeah, and the thing here is this. I'm not the biggest Dre Kirkpatrick fan in the world, but there comes a point where you got to ask yourself, is Dre Kirkpatrick that bad? Or is Dre Kirkpatrick just not prepared because the coaching is so bad.
I look at it. So first, I'm not going to say the kid is that bad. I've seen him get better. You know, I didn't think, you know, as the first round pick here, you know, you give a guy $52 million. That means this guy has, you know, the first 5 years, the guy has done something. You know, well, I think he was, he got that contract based on seniority. I don't think, you know, there's nothing ever in my mind has been $52 million. I'm going to give him credit because I think he has improved tremendously from last year to this year. That being said, you're still talking about basic coverages. You know, it's hard for me to imagine at this point in the season where, you know, you're getting calls from the sideline and you guys are like, guy is just wide open. I said, you got to camp it to the 36, the safety, he's deep. The tight end runs straight to him, runs a basic corner route. He doesn't even break on the quarterback. On the corner route, he has no threat. He has no seam threat. You know, he has no threat from the outside receiver. Nothing. He doesn't even break. You know, either we are just that totally inept, or the game plan, they had no idea what they were doing. And I'm talking about linebackers, you know, I'm talking about safeties, and I'm talking about corners. I'm seeing the corners bite on stuff. You know, hey man, you got a deep third. How are you biting? And you got a guy who looks up at 5 yards, and then you got a corner route that's 10, 15 yards. That should be a simple play for you. You know, and I when I seen those guys out of position 90% of the time, it wasn't just disheartening. It was just sickening that at this level, you know, you could be that ill prepared. I've seen, and I've been in games, Mike, where I got my ass kicked. You know, as far as, you know, we lost. But never was it because, you know, we totally didn't know what we were doing. Guys were just getting physically beat. You know, and that happens in the NFL. And you may have a blown coverage here or there. You know, but the entire game, you know, you look at whatever that fake punt was. By alignment, Mike, what they did, there's no way you can call it. You got to call it out. You got to have an audible. There's an audible for everything. You know, so I don't know. It was just from a total team perspective, Mike, from the defensive perspective, from a offensive perspective, and you know, I could say offensively, Mike, this is going to be the first game that I really put a lot on Andy. Because I think Andy got so frustrated with everybody else, he was just going to throw the ball to A.J. I don't care what. You know, when he threw an interception, if the guy didn't intercept, he had 4 guys on him. He said, remember, it's 2 guys in a row. It's 4 guys on him. There was no way that you were going to get that ball in there. But I think because it's frustration from you know, because of everybody else, you know, he was forcing throws to A.J. You know, of course, A.J. is A.J. You know, A.J.'s he's gonna make his plays. A.J.'s one of the, you know, top 5 receivers in my opinion in the league. But A.J. alone is not going to get us to where we got to go. You know, you have to spread that ball. You know, and once again, you know, we got to run Mixon. You have to. You got to run him. You know, and you know when you know. Because I think at some point, Mike, they knew that our defense wasn't going to stop them. So at that point, we got to have ball control. You know, when it becomes, you know, 28-7, we got to have ball control.
Yeah, but when you only allow Joe Mixon to carry the ball on average 12 times a game, you're not going to have ball control.
No, absolutely not. So, you know, that's why I say, you know, this game on both sides of the ball, head coach, special teams coach, they were not prepared. But, you know, that effort, because I think my game plan, whatever the game plan, whatever you've seen on film, I don't know. I have no idea what they've seen because I still don't have any idea what the plan was and what they were trying to execute. because when you look at what the weapons that they had, here, I understand you're trying to take the deep ball away from because it's number 10. But, how are you planning on, what kind of defense were you planning, your front seven? Everybody was, either they were that bad, here, you got guys coming out to the outside. Mike Johnson is 3rd and 1. Your defensive end. Why are you trying to make a play in the A-gap? That is not your play. Not today, not tomorrow.
Michael Johnson, since he's been here, even the years he was good, has never done what he was supposed to do to contain as a defensive end. And I will make this statement, since Mike Zimmer's been gone, I don't think we've seen too many defensive ends that have. And when you look at this coaching staff's filled with a ton of guys from Bill Lazor to 90% of the guys outside of maybe Pollock who are not qualified to be NFL coaches. Terrell Austin is not qualified. Bill Lazor is not qualified. There's a reason why when you look at these guys, if you look at Lazor's resume, there's almost no place where he's lasts for 2 years. I mean, when he was in Miami, he was known for forgetting about the running game, and that's what he's done here. And you're not going to go beat the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens not running the football.
No.
So,
not with the weapon that you have.
Yeah, and the thing that's scary to me is when you look at the NFL overall, the NFL overall is filled with retread coaches or coaches that are there because their daddies used to be coaches.
Exactly.
It's sickening.
Exactly.
That's why you got Bill Belichick, Harbaugh, Andy Reid, a few other guys, and then everybody else is just a joke. And that's why you get 8 to 10 guys fired every year. It's because these guys get hired and everybody realizes we really screwed this up. You look at Jacksonville, Doug Marrone, he's a joke. I mean, everybody, they were supposed to be the next big thing. This dude can't figure out what's supposed to be going on. The New York Giants, the Dallas Cowboys. And the thing is, with the Dallas Cowboys and the Cincinnati Bengals, I don't know that any head coach could be successful because in the end, the players don't respect the head coach because they know the head coach doesn't have final say on a damn thing.
We have that. So, it was like that prior to the game. So, whatever attitude or whatever opinion you had, as far as the players about, Marvin, you had those when you were 4-1. So.
But see, this is the thing, Joe. Joe, if you remember, when they played the Pittsburgh Steelers, I said if they lose this game, everything will spiral out of control, and this season will be no more than 7 or 8 wins at best. And I still think that's what's going to happen. I think the problem is this. When you play a primetime game, it's usually against a coach like an Andy Reid or a Bill Belichick. It's against a well-coached team. And against well-coached teams, this doesn't have anything to do with primetime to me. This is just when you play better football or better coached football teams, we get totally outplanned, outprepared. I mean, this team has a losing record coming off of bye weeks. That's coaching, Joe. And I'm not going to blame Marvin Lewis because I think in the end, this all falls on Mike Brown because there's no place in the freaking world where you could own a team or be a head coach of a team for 17 years, not win one freaking playoff game, and still be the guy. There's just nowhere like that.
Yeah. It's the Bengals organization. It's just as high as I was on the team. I'm not totally giving up on them right now, but that is like you said when we're talking about the team possibly spiraling out of control because of the Pittsburgh one. And it showed that it took a lot. You guys weren't professional. You weren't able to get over it. That week is gone. That week is over. You had an entire week to get over that Pittsburgh loss. Make the plays, catch the ball, you win. Stop them. 3rd and 10, stop them. You win the game. You didn't. So now you get in a situation where here you You show up there and go to Kansas City. Well, you go to Kansas City because you damn sure didn't show up. You stayed on the bus, the plane, or wherever you were, wherever your mind was, because your only thing that showed up in Kansas City was your body, and that's from the top down. And it's disheartening, and it's frustrating being a Bengal fan. It's frustrating for Bengal Nation because we were so high 2 weeks ago.
Because we know how much talent's there.
Well,
there's plenty of talent to win. The offensive line, I question, but hell, let's face it, half of the best teams have terrible offensive lines. And
exactly.
When I look at this, Vontaze Burfict, I'd cut his ass, and it's not because he plays dirty, because I appreciate that. I would cut him because his ass is seemingly always out of shape. He can't tackle anybody anymore, and he's not performing, so why pay him this much money?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's you got to understand the culture. You got to understand, is there somebody? Is there a coach? And I think for Jim Haslett, and Jim is not just a easy guy. The Jim Haslett I played for in '93. Jim's a hard-nosed dude.
Hey, I'd rather have Jim Haslett as the head coach of this team than anybody on this staff.
I think disciplinary-wise, I think it would be a huge difference because Jim didn't take shit in 1993. I don't know if his old age, if he's changed, but Jim wouldn't take that. If you were in there and you were toughen up, your ass is out of there. And make no bones about it. Doesn't matter who you are. I think with the culture, these guys come in, Burfict, you come in out of shape. When you look at guys making plays, I look at Kirkpatrick, and here the quarterback overthrew the guy by 4 or 5 yards. You're behind him, and you turn around, you're all up in the stands talking like you made a play and you stopped it. That's a pet peeve. I hate it when a guy makes a tackle. He gets up. Dude, he just rushed for 7 yards. And you get in there, drop the ball, and you jump up. To me, that's the culture that you permeate. Because at the end of the day, so if you're playing for me, you're supposed to make that play. Make a play. Stop him for no gain. Stop him for a 2-yard loss. And now show me some emotion. Don't show me no emotion when he just rushed for had a 14-yard run and you hit it was a hard collision. I just it's what you allow. When you allow that kind of stuff to fester, it can become a problem in your locker room. That being said, my best advice to Marvin, Terrell, Laser, burn that film. Burn it. To me, there's nothing you can learn off a lackluster effort. If you even want to call it effort, there's nothing you can learn off of that. You get your ass back in the classroom. You get ready for Tampa Bay. You put your players in a position to at least compete. You can't compete, Mike. You're in a Tampa 2, and you got Burfict who's playing, outside linebacker. He's running with the tight end 25 yards, and you got the slot guy uncovered, but he's getting covered by the safety coming down, and by lineman, he's a line 25 yards deep. Mike, it's 3rd and 4. They're on the 12. Guess where the safeties are lining up? They're 3 yards deep in the end zone. What happens to when you're at the end zone? You line your feet up in it. You got your defender. Your defender is 10 yards deep. That's the back line. That's the back of the end zone. So you got an extra defender. Why are you lining up in the? When I look at those things, I'm looking at it's 3rd and 1. Linebacker, you're 6 yards deep. So I mean, just gentleman here, hey, let me have a first down. There were so many different plays by alignment, here, because you might the game plan. First and 10. There's a game plan. Second and short, there's a game plan. Second and long, there's a game plan. Second medium, there's a game plan. Third and short, there's a game plan.
Yeah.
You have a game plan
That's
for every
the
situation.
sheet of paper you see the coordinators looking at. That's what's on it. 1st and 10, second and short, 2nd and long. That's what everybody's got. And they were obviously unprepared. And now they play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which I know I've seen a lot of Bengal fans say, well, we're going to win this game. But the problem with Tampa Bay is this. They average 450 yards per game. They lead the league in passing, 364 yards per game. When you look at this, Jameis Winston's back. They got guys like Mike Evans. They got the kid they drafted last year from Bama at tight end, and God knows the Bengals can't cover a tight end. They are the 8th highest scoring team, averaging 28 points a game. This is going to be a tough game for the Bengals to get, I think. Just from what I saw last week, and if Vontaze Burfict's out, I don't know if it's really like when he was out before, or if it makes that big of a deal. But I don't see how the Bengals can cover these receivers. And to win this game, they're going to be able to score a lot of points.
Yeah. We're going to have to score anyway. Whatever Austin is doing, and whatever game plan he's putting in, he's going to say here, my game plan is to give up 450 yards. And let's just hold him under 25 points.
Yeah.
Because if that's your game plan, that's what you're doing. I mean, I don't know. Are we last in the league and giving up? We're giving up the most yards.
I can't imagine there's a team that's giving up less.
Yeah, I guess we're not. We're damn near at the bottom. So when you look at that. You look at like I said, Mike Evans. You look at their Howard. They're tight end from Alabama. Who's athletically, just as good as Kelsey, if not better. I think Kelsey's a better tight end, more mature right now, but I think that kid can be better than Kelsey. You still got Deshaun Jackson. We don't have one DB because just like I said, and when we were talking in the beginning of the year, and everybody was saying how great 22 is going to be. I gotta see it because to me he was listening to that, Mike. He was listening to everybody saying how great he is.
I don't know, though, because when I watch William Jackson, I don't see him get beat a whole lot. What I see is this, though. They've got one William Jackson, and everybody else sucks. If that happens, you're going to give up a lot. I mean, you've only got one guy in a position where you need to have 4 guys counting the safeties. And I think Jesse Bates has played well. I think Jackson's been okay. I don't think he's been as good as we thought he would be. But Sean Williams...
he's not...
Williams is horrible. He's horrible. Kirkpatrick is horrible. Bernard is hurt.
He's not. He shouldn't be a starting safety. Period. I don't care what you say. No. I don't see anything in him. Never have. I've seen a real good backup safety. You can come in. If a guy gets hurt. I wouldn't be opposed to putting Sedgwick on him. Honestly.
I like Sedgwick. I think he's a good football player.
Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to putting him in because I've seen some fight. I see some grit. In him. I don't see any fight. I see you coming up. 36. You coming up and you hitting the guy. He got 10 yards. I see you making a tackle. It was a 35-yard gain. I mean, here you run and you push the guy, and the guy just got a first down. He rushed, quarterback scramble rush for 14, 15 yards to push him out of bounds. That's not tough. I mean, oh my God, that drives you crazy. You're not tough because of that.
No, and then the other problem is offensively now Tyler Cross out. So now they got to go get a guy from Central Florida who hasn't played a down in the NFL. John Ross is out with an injury. And the question is this, though, with John Ross, why did they not use him the way Tyreek is used in Kansas City? I mean, they don't just send him on seam routes and that's it. They do all kind of stuff with him to use him. Why can't the Bengals do something like that? I mean, it's not something that Andy Reid just started doing with Tyreek because guys have been doing it with slot receivers for the last 30, 40 years.
Well, you look at, I watched KJ Dub, and I was high on him. Right now, he has absolutely zero confidence. I don't even think he thinks he's an NFL player. And I'm saying that by what I see, physically, not physically, but just what I see, emotionally. But like you said, the kid is the fastest kid in the NFL. Why aren't you using him? Why aren't you using him? Here, you let him go in motion. You run the reverse sweeps. Run the fake reverse sweeps. Like I said, all they're doing is, well, I line up on him. He's either going to block. I'm looking at him. Dude, I know when you're not going out for a pass. I know when you're getting ready to, I'm looking at your body language. So I know when you're going to run a 9 route. So that's easy to defend for a guy who runs 4-4. I can defend the 4-2.
With Tyreek, the thing that makes him dangerous is not even when he's not going out for a route, the motions they use with him, I think the reason they do that, like the one to bring him across and he'll run behind the running back and reverse out, I think what they do with that is they keep, since they have a young quarterback like Patrick Mahomes, I think the things people miss here is that keeps a defense on the other side from trying to disguise the coverage, because with him always in motion, it makes it almost impossible to disguise it because you have to wait till the last second. And with a young quarterback like Mahomes, when you can do that and they can't disguise coverage and you can't do any show coverages on them, it makes it a much simpler game on a basically rookie quarterback.
Yeah. Like I said, it was just tough to watch. But the thing is here, Tampa Bay is a team that we can beat. We can beat them without Tyler Croft. The thing is, okay, are we going to give up another 500 yards? Are we going to compete and give up $300 yards and allow our offense, to score 3-4 times? Mike, we could have scored 40 points, right? We still lose.
Yeah.
I don't know if they play.
Actually, in that game, we probably could have scored 50 if we'd have lost, because I think they could have scored. They could have scored as many points as they needed to.
Oh yeah. So that was it was my thing. I look for, so when you're in a dogfight, Mike Tyson's favorite quote was, hey, everybody got a plan until they get smacked in the mouth. So we might have had a plan. And you see how Kansas City came out and just took it to us. And there was no, I'm looking for somebody on the sideline. I'm looking for somebody in the huddle. I'm looking, because you're looking at Kansas City, and they're just having the time of their life. They're scoring and they're getting first downs and they're dancing and they're doing this and they're doing that, and then you see the swag there, Mike, and they're feeling good about themselves. Mike, if I'm sitting up here and this guy is dancing in front of me, I'm going on the sideline. I'm going to turn over some Gatorade. I'm in somebody's face, and there's a whole lot of things I'm going to be saying in the huddle while we're on the field. I can't say right now. There was times, Mike, I was playing for the Rally Rams in '94, and we had two defensive ends who were supposed to be good, and they picked a free agent signing. My daughter could have blocked them. And I'm in the auto, and we're in San Francisco, those guys, they had the same old Rams. And man, I am going, I'm saying, it's one thing you beat, but you better compete. You sit up here, man. I'm not going to sit up here and just get my ass kicked. You better compete, or you get to out this huddle. You have to be somebody. Say, and I seen your biggest, toughest guy lay down on you and quit. Perfect lay down and quit. Dude, you missed the tackle. You got up. You walked. Nothing was wrong with you. The guy kept going, and then all of a sudden, after taking 4 or 5 steps, you started leaning, limping. You quit, dude. You quit. I'm looking at you. This is your toughest guy. This is your tough guy.
Hey, this is the thing. When he came here, he was a tough guy. He was a great football player. The culture of the Cincinnati Bengals has made him like it's the old Bengalized. He's been Bengalized. Carson Palmer got Bengalized. He raised a little hell and got the hell out of here. And I know there's a lot of fans here that don't like Andy Dalton. But you know what?
Yeah.
It's not going to be real easy to replace Andy Dalton when he gets sick of this shit around here.
No. And so the thing is, Andy's not the problem. You say Andy's not the problem. The thing is, like I said, you got it. It's the culture. You know, perfect to me is still one of the, you know, the best inside linebackers. But Mike, he's playing outside. He's playing outside. The dude's inside backer. He's inside backer.
I remember when he first got here, I'm like, why don't they put him at middle linebacker? And everybody's like, well, we're going to let him get used to the NFL. And now we're 7 years later, and he's still playing outside linebacker.
He's out. He's totally out of. He's out of position. He's out of position. He's an inside linebacker. He's not an outside linebacker. He doesn't need to be running with, you know, the tight ends and, you know, one of his middle linebacker and he got cover two. You know, and you're going to take three up the seam. Okay, that's going to be from here to eternity. You know, other than that, your middle linebacker, you know, he's throwing the hook to curl. You know, he's getting those guys across the middle. You know, you got him outside. You got him. You know, he's in the flats. Well, how can he be that, you know, effective? Your best player. You know, you got him by position, by alignment. He's out of half of the plays by alignment. You know, so you know it's tough. You know, it's you know, understand, hey man, you know, here jump in the cold ice, man. You know, duck your head under the cold ice, Mike, and let's get it going. Tampa Bay is a team that we can beat. You know, I think when we go out, you know, and we have an effort and you go compete, you know, and we do what is necessary. We come out and get this bitter taste. You got to get the bitter taste out your mouth, Mike. If we go down and we play this game and we don't get that bitter taste out of our mouth, we are looking at a 7-9, 8-8 situation.
Yeah, because over the horizon after the bye week is Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints, and against our defense right now, that is not going to be pretty. Yeah,
you know, and it's disheartening because you look, okay, here we played Baltimore. You know, we kicked their ass. Baltimore easily could have won that game. That game could have went either way. So you're looking at, you know, how these guys can compete. How Cleveland competing against Pittsburgh? You know, and we can't. We're better than them. You know, so the personnel is there. You know, but Mike, you know, if you have a garbage game plan, and we got a garbage game plan offensively and defensively. You know, I'm saying because Kansas City defense sucks. But we made Kansas City
actually, when I
like,
looked up total yards given up, Joe, the Bengals are second to last. The only team that had given up more yards than them were the Chiefs. And the Chiefs didn't give up hardly anything to us, and they're still last in the NFL in yards given up.
Yeah. Okay, so they suck. But like I said, whatever, that's the game plan. These guys couldn't stop anybody. But how can they stop us? You know, but when they stop us, you know, we stop ourselves, Mike. Hey, when you got 28 back there and he gets 12 touches, 28 gets 12 touches. How? In what world? You know, in what game do you go to game plan and say, hey, we're going to let Mixon touch that ball 12 times, and we're gonna pass all the other time?
Yeah, and that's probably 12 series where they start off, and every series is this. It's either pass, run, pass, or it's run, pass, pass.
But then here, you become so predictable.
That's what I mean.
Now, Mike, I haven't played since 1997. January, 1997 was the last time I played. How am I still I know, dude, when you're running the ball. I know when you're passing the ball. It is that obvious. You know, I'm reading it. I'm reading, you know, what you're doing. I know where Mixon is going.
Yeah, but you know what? You know, it's been like that here since Sam Weiss left. I mean, literally, if you lived here in the 90s, from 1992 until now, you could actually probably call the plays at least 60% of the time before the ball snapped.
And that's too bad, man. You know, I'm hoping that, because there's some. I've been in a lot of games where, hey, you know what, coach said, hey, we're not going to look at that film. We're going to go out because we're going to remember what we do well. So now we're going to go out. We're going to practice. We're going to execute. Hopefully this was a tough week. Hopefully this wasn't a week where we're rubbing shoulders and saying it's going to be okay.
Joe, what do you think are the chances that this was a tough week?
I'm just going to believe that this was a tough week.
Come on, Joe. So you think this is like this is like 1981 or 82 going in meeting Forrest Gregg after you get beat like that? I don't think it is. How about this? Let's go this way. The Cincinnati Bengals, you were there for one of their big losses. In the 1988 season, you guys, second to last game of the season against the Houston Oilers, I think lost 41-6. The next week you were playing the Redskins basically to win the division. Just what was that week like as a Bengal coming off that loss in Houston?
Well, that when you think about that loss, there was when those are one of those games where everything that could possibly go wrong went wrong, and I don't think it was lack of game plan. It was just lack of execution. There was still blown coverages, blown assignments. Before Houston had a good team. So it wasn't like we got ran over by a team that wasn't a formidable opponent. But in the back of our mind, we still knew who we were. We at that point in time, Mike, we had our identity. They don't have an identity yet.
Well, see, that's my point, though. That's my point. And how can you have a coach in place for 16 years and a team has never had an identity? I don't think this team has ever had an identity. When things go bad, they just get worse. And that was kind of my point. In 1988, when you lost like that, it was like, what the hell? That won't happen again. And with this team, this shit just snowballs every year. It seems like as soon as something bad happens, everybody goes, oh, hell, here we go again, and throws their hands up.
Here we go again. I'm looking at what we have, and I'm saying that I'm gonna, hope, and I'm gonna, I'm still gonna, I'm not off the wagon yet, Mike. I'm gonna say, hey, Kansas City's a good team. Kansas City's been kicking everybody's ass, so I'm gonna chalk it up to that. We're not on their level right now. Week 7, we're not on their level, and it showed. We had some close victories, and we found ways to win.
When they played Pittsburgh, I think they went up like 21-0 right away, like 7 minutes into the game, and that game went to final was like 42-37. Pittsburgh didn't just bend over and take it. New England didn't bend over and take it. None of these teams bent over and took it. The Bengals bent over and they took it. The Bengals were like the first time they was ever in jail, and in their cell were, 3 real big guys that have been there forever. Yeah. And the Bengals just said, hey, do what you want with me. Yeah. Let me go home. Yeah. And I just when you look at the Bengals Buccaneers game, are you picking the Bengals?
Yes, I am. I'm gonna because in what I believe and what I see. If you lose this game, I don't think we make the playoffs. If we lose this game, I don't think we make the playoffs. We got the other things that we do. If we lose this game, I don't think we make the playoffs. I think we're 8-8, 7-9 team. If we lose, that being said, I'm going to go. I'm going to pick us. I'm going to pick us. I'm going to say. I think Mixon is in that locker room, Mixon. I think he is saying something. AJ's just going to go out and perform. I think at some point in time, I think that kid is going to be the one, the vocal guy to say something. And the talent that he is, you're going to have to make this guy happy. So that being said, I'm thinking and I'm hoping Dunlap, Gino, I'm hoping it's 55. I'm hoping that he went and seen the wizard and got his heart back. because I still did.
Or maybe he went to see Richard Simmons and got some exercise videos and lost some weight.
Well,
I think this. I think he's probably got the heart, but you know yourself, you could have all the heart in the world, but if you're out of shape, it ain't gonna matter.
Yeah, and I'm looking for him to if he doesn't play, that's no heart. That's zero heart. You know, you get out there, man. You go to battle with your guys. You go to battle with your, here. Like I said, I can't tell you how many games I played where nothing hurt. There's a whole lot of stuff hurt, Mike. But there's a difference between being hurt and being injured. You know, if you hurt, man, that happens. That comes along. That comes with the territory.
What's his supposed injury? Was it a thigh or a hip?
I don't. It was. To me, it was his feelings. That's what he hurt. His feelings. He left his feelings. That's what he went to go find. You know, his feelings were hurt. You know that this guy.
Just say it, Joe. He went to find his balls, and he hadn't found them yet.
Yeah.
Now,
Okay,
if Fontes hears this, I just want to let him know that I speak for Joe too, and Joe lives closer than I do. We'll see.
Well, I'm an LA boy. I back up what I said.
Oh, you whip his ass anyways, sure. Joe. Hell, he ain't got half the heart you ever had.
I'm not.
I think this. I've never been off the bandwagon because I don't think a bandwagon fan is somebody. I cheer for the Bengals win or lose. I don't see them winning this game. I think, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope they come out and prove me completely wrong. I think the Bengals are going to give up 38, 40 points again. I think they're going to lose the game. I think that this team needs a culture shock. I mean, it's like the 78-79 Bengals. Talent level wasn't that bad. And they had a really good coach in Homer Rice. And I think Homer Rice is a good coach. I still think Marvin Lewis is a good football coach. I just think that this team needs a kick in the ass. They need somebody that will come in that's young, that can motivate some people and get after some guys. And the problem is, that's probably never going to happen because of who owns this team. Even if they fire him, they'll hire Bill Lazor or Terrell Austin, and nothing's going to change that way. And I hope I'm wrong here, but I think Tampa Bay wins this game 38-21. I'm going to do the opposite. Like I'm going to say that these guys got to man up. I'm not going to say Tampa Bay is not going to make some plays here and there, but I think our guys. I think they're going to man up. You know, I think Tampa Bay is going to move the ball. You know, Winston is going to make some plays, but I think he's going to make some bad plays. So you know, I'm looking at nothing like that. I don't think offensively we're going to explode, but I see us scoring 28. I'm looking at the score being like 28, 26 in that range. But I'm gonna say at home, I think we're going to defend our turf. I think we're going to, we had a horrible loss in Pittsburgh, and then last week was an abomination. But it was an abomination with a really good team. And Kansas City's a really good team. And the scary thing, Kansas City has 3 defensive starters not, out. So, it's unfortunate that we don't have, when we have one of our star guys go out, we don't have a capable guy that is filling in. We have a Hardy Nickerson who is a special teams guy. He's not. I mean, that's what he is. I don't even know if he's a special teams guy, Joe.
Well, when you look at, I was looking for Jordan Evans. I was disappointed in him. I'm looking for you to come out and, athletically, physically, you have it, but there was no competing with him either. It's I don't know, man. I had it because at the end of the day, Mike, when you look at a lot of defenses and the top defense, you're led by your linebackers. You're led by your linebackers, and linebackers are the vocals guys. They're getting the D-line. They're making all the calls. They're making adjustments. They're making adjustments for the defensive backs. That's the heart. And when you're heart, when you don't have a heart, it's tough. And right now, he doesn't have a heart. Nick Mitchell's out, he'll be out for a couple more weeks. And Burfict quit on him. So when you got the pulse of your defense playing the way they are. But I think I'm looking at. I watched a lot of the Tampa Bay game last week. But I think our D-line. I think our D-line is going to get back to where they were and a couple weeks ago, and putting pressure on that quarterback. And they're going to cause Jameis Winston some problems. So I'm looking at getting off the snag, man, and I'm gonna stick with the hometown, and I'm saying here 28-26 Cincinnati Bengals.
I hope you're right, Joe.
Yeah.
Because if you're not, with the Saints coming to town, and you still got to go to Pittsburgh, you still got to go to Baltimore, you still got to go to L.A. and play the Chargers. I mean, I think this gets ugly really quick. So my hope is this. My hope is either they win the game or to get totally obliterated the rest of the season so we get some actual real change here, hopefully. I would prefer this team to win. I mean, like I said, I don't hate Marvin Lewis. I don't think he's a horrible coach. I just think he's in the culture of a place where since the man who owns this team took over, nothing has went well. Since 1991, Paul Brown died. His last season was the last season the Bengals won a playoff game. And he dies at the start of the 91 season, I think right before training camp or during training camp. And from then on, this has been nothing but a cluster. And I don't blame anything. The only person that deserves blame in all of this or any of this is Mike Brown. It all falls on Mike Brown. And the sad thing is this. I know it's right because when you see players, posting that finally their picture is at Paul Brown Stadium, that's not good enough. I mean, there should be a Hall of Fame at Paul Brown Stadium. Guys like Reggie Williams, Kenny Anderson, all these guys should be honored at this stadium. And what you have here is you have a huge disconnect between ownership and the fans, and you have a huge disconnect between owners and the players. And, I mean, it was great they brought you guys back and honored you, but it shouldn't have taken 30 years.
It should take 30 years. No, I totally agree. There are some changes, being made as far as, trying to connect alumni to the fan base, because there's a lot of things that they're doing. Like this week, I'll be visiting some of the corporate suites at halftime. Me and some other guys. So they are doing things that he's never done before. So there are some things going. But at the end of the day, you have to put something out on the field that that they can possibly compete for a Super Bowl. And when you look at the
fan base of the Bengals, and the thing that drives me nuts is most Bengal fans under the age of 35 or 40 have never even heard of Lamar Parrish. They've never heard of Gary Burley. They've never heard of Tommy Casanova. I mean, when you look at Cowboy fans that live in Dallas, they all have heard of their guys. You've got a ring of honor for them. So there is a daily, constant reminder of why this team was great. And the Cincinnati Bengals may not have won a Super Bowl, but the 81 and 88 Bengals were great football teams. And the 1988 Bengals, to me, if you look at the personalities on that team, they're the 85 Bears without winning the Super Bowl. But the 85 Bears, didn't have to beat the 1988 49ers because they probably wouldn't have. So, I mean, it just drives me nuts that there's so many people that don't know the history of this team that go to these games. And we've talked about this before. There's never been crowd noise like there was in the 80s in the last 20 years, even through the 8 playoff bursts. And it got to the point where I'm not going to pay that much money to go to a game when I can just sit in my own house, not pay $40 for parking, not pay $50 to $100 for a ticket. It's just not worth it anymore. There's no experience at Paul Brown Stadium that makes me want to go there. Not from the team.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because I'm there. I'm at every game. And you do even with the culture being what it is, and all the losing seasons. When you go down there, there's still some diehard Bengal fans. That's gonna we're gonna go there. Well, us, we're talking about. We're totally disappointed. We both know football. So we know how bad the game plans were on both sides of the ball. We know how bad they really were. Because a lot of times you look at him and that guy saying he played bad, and we know when you look at it, he really didn't play bad. He made a couple bad plays. Or when this guy, he played great. No, he didn't. There was about 10 plays that he was horrible. So you look at it, you and I are able to decipher, through all the hoopla and, everything is not always as bad as it seems, but everything, I'm sure, is not as good as it seems most of the time, either. But the thing is, at the end of the day, you gotta win. You gotta win the Pittsburgh game. Those are the things when you're talking about special season. Those are the things that you got to do.
What I'm talking about is this too. In the 1980s, when you went to a Bengals-Steeler game, there may be 4,000 or 5,000 Steeler fans there. The rest were Bengals fans. I mean, now, if you go to a Bengals and Steelers game, I mean, I didn't go to the last Bengals-Steeler game, but the crowd was probably, what, about 50-50?
It was this game, Mike, I can honestly tell you, it was more, I would say it was more a 70-30, which is
still too damn much.
The last 4 or 5 years, it's literally been 50-50, if not 45-55 Steelers fans. So this, the past game, I was there. There was a lot of terrible towels, but it wasn't like it has been the last 4 or 5 years. At the end of the day, like that,
I don't know, but I don't remember 30% of those crowds in 1985, 86, 87, 88, 89.
No.
I don't remember 30% of them crowds waving towels. No. And the other thing I don't remember, and the thing that really pisses me off about fans now is this. I also don't remember going to Bengals-Steelers games in the 80s and seeing all-out brawls between the fan bases.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's a joke anymore, and anymore, I think Bengal fans are, for the most part, under 35, and they're there to get drunk before the game and then act like general assholes during it. And that is the main reason I gave up the season tickets after 2013. It wasn't just the losing, but it was just you go and you watch these ignorant people who are there drunk off their ass. If I pay $100 for a ticket, I'm not going to be so drunk I can't remember the game the next day, Joe.
Yeah. Well, you have a lot of that. Unfortunately, the tailgating has gone to another level. And unfortunately, like you said, you have so many people that come and tailgate, they don't even go to the game. I'm coming to tailgate to go to the game. So, to wrap up here, Mike, I've got basketball season starts for our son. I won't be today, so it's something that I can get away a little bit from thinking about our Bengals, and hopefully Sunday these guys can show up, and we can re-energize and recharge the fan base.
All right, Joe. We're going to go ahead and wrap the show up so Joe can get to his game. Remember, you can hear all of our shows on iHeartRadio, iTunes, TuneIn, Spreaker, Spotify. Wherever you hear sports podcasts, you'll find The Grueling Truth. So for Joe Kelly, I'm Mike Goodpaster. You've been listening to The Grueling Truth, where the legends speak.